Two guys walk into a bar. We all know that joke. But this isn't a joke. This is a story about how two guys walked into a bar to go see their artist perform. But they could not hear her. They shouted to each other over all the noise of people talking and TVs. They were saying how next time she's in DC, they should just ask her to perform at their desk. This is how the idea of Tiny Desk was created, according to Bob Boilen in an interview with the Alternative Press. NPR Tiny Desk Concert has allowed people from all genres, popularity, and backgrounds to showcase their art. It has also allowed audiences from all over the world to discover new music. Overall, it is a cultural hub for authenticity. I personally love music to the infinite power. I try to go to as many concerts as I possibly can. NPR Tiny Desk Concert has allowed me to discover new genres, figure out more about my favorite artist, and overall, I think it is a great conversation starter. So first, we will be figuring out, what am I even talking about? What is NPR Tiny Desk Concert? Then, what is the purpose of it all, and why it's important for artists? So first, what is NPR? NPR stands for National Public Radio. The mission is to have a more informed public. According to their homepage, they like to dive into culture, music, and different types of events. So diving deeper into the event, Mitch Riles, who has firsthand gone to a concert, speaks out how the show can only be 15 to 20 minutes long. Also, you can only be invited if you know the singer or if you know a person who works there. And there's also other ways like Instagram raffles that you can join. And also, there is absolutely no recording, only living in the moment is allowed. Also, Zachary Crockett, who has been to the concert, has explained to readers that it is in Washington, D.C. in NPR's headquarters, surrounded by people working and cubicles. It also states the artist rules they have to follow. All the artist instruments and backup performers they have to fit behind the desk. They cannot overflow. And also there is no use of auto-tune or amplifiers. So it's all very natural. Most artists use acoustic instruments and there's just mics placed around. So definitely very natural feeling. So remember the story I told you in the beginning? One of those guys, his name is Bob Boilen. He's the one who created it all. He grew up around music and he had also a radio station at NPR before called All Things Considered. So let's dive into the purpose. The purpose one of them is to have an authentic stage. Zachary Crockett, who I mentioned before, is a journalist for music and culture, explains how Tiny Desk is genuine and authentic in an age of inauthenticity. That Bob Boilen has spoken about a special intimacy that the performance creates. How the artist perform is very original. The audience has never heard that version before. It is very different than the studio version. So the audience gets a little different version that they've never heard before. Second is he speaks about how in this world we are consuming so much media, but NPR is a high quality media that creates impact to the audience and allows a connection because the audience is attracted to the messiness and rawness of it all. When the audience gets to see the performer mess up or gets to hear a genuine story from them, it builds a special bond. Third, it gives a platform for artists. Bob Boilen, in an interview with Caitlin Megan, states how he picks unknown artists because nobody's heard their voice before. He wants to give them a boost. Now, we go into why it's important for the artist, following up with the platform. NPR has 11.8 million subscribers. That is a lot. As soon as you're in that platform, you're going to get more listeners, more followers on social media. For example, the group Karel and Paco and Mario, they had 3,000 American monthly listeners. But after the performance, they had 200,000. And that video alone got 42 million views. There's many cases like this. Second of all, it shows even more talent to the singers. Since they are so stripped of production instruments that they are used to, they have to step outside their comfort zone. Pink Panthers recently said in the middle of her performance how she was going to decline the offer because she can't use autotune. She'd never sang without it. This was her first time. There's also other many cases like this. Third of all, it shows a side to the artist that audiences don't normally see. They get to tell anecdotes and give advice to the audience. For example, Maria from the group Maria's, she talked about in her show how she got so sucked into social media that it felt like it defined her. So she gave the audience advice of putting your phone down and going to talk to a tree. So again, there's another special bond and connection that you can create with the performer. So overall, NPR Tiny Desk, it's authentic, genuine, allows people to listen and discover, allows people to express themselves. Tiny Desk, more like Humongous Desk, because of the humongous impact it has on the music world.